Hi, and welcome to the Synergy Sky Suite video tutorial series. I'm Nick Doyle, the Senior Sales Engineer in the Asia Pacific region for Synergy Sky, and in this video we're going to look at deploying Synergy Sky Suite within Microsoft Azure. Now, this is the part of the second series of videos in which we deploy Synergy Sky Suite into various virtual environments. However, for an overview of the entire series, please go back and watch the tutorial introduction video if you've not done so already. So, compute requirements for the suite in Azure. The virtual machine image within Azure itself will be 11 gig as the actual, but will consume a 16 gig disk in Azure. For production, we recommend standard D4S v3, which is 4 vCPUs, 16 gig RAM, and 500 gig additional SSD for the database. In a lab or proof of concept, you can get away with running a standard D2S v3, which is 2 vCPUs, 8 gig of RAM, and attaching only 10 gig of additional disk. However, if you're looking at doing this as a proof of concept that moves into production, highly recommended going with the recommended production requirements from the get-go. So the deployment steps. First, download and extract the Synergy Sky Suite virtual machine image from our support page. Create a resource group within Microsoft Azure. Create the storage container and upload the virtual machine image to it. Create a managed disk. Create the Synergy Sky Suite virtual machine instance by specifying compute requirements, attaching the secondary disk, and also specifying network connectivity. And then we're going to power on the virtual machine once that's all completed and confirm that we can reach it via SSH. Now, as a reminder, all the information covered in these video tutorials is available on our support pages at support.synergysky.com. Here you can find documentation and configuration information, as well as additional resources, troubleshooting tools, and assistance. So, with that, let's move on to actually deploying. Okay, so let's open up the web browser. And I've already logged into my instance of Azure. And first, I'm going to create a new resource group. So let's go here. I'm going to call it SKY Demo and put it in Asia Pacific, Australia East, where I am. Review and create. So that's validating, and there we go. It is now sitting there as SKY Demo. Done. We'll go back to home, and I'm now going to create a storage account. And I'm going to create this storage account and attach it to SKY Demo. I'm going to give it a name of SKY Suite Demo. Put it in the same region, which is Asia Pacific, Australia for me. I'm going to have performance set as standard. Redundancy, I'm just going to do locally because this is a lab, not a production. And I'm going to review and create. Now, if any networking is required within your organization and policies, this is where you can do that. And I'm just going to click on next. Okay, deployment is in progress. That won't take too long. Now, I've already gone on the website and downloaded my virtual machine image, which is here. There's a link on the Deploy within Microsoft Azure page. And that's now waiting for me to upload. So I'm going to go to the resource I've just created. And on the left-hand side, I've got containers. So I'm going to click on that, add container. I'm going to call this SKY Suite Image 1 and create. Okay, that's been successfully created. I'll click on there and upload. Now, I click on this folder here, and here is my VHD image ready to go. And I'm just going to click open and click upload. Now, I've already done this previously, so I can speed up this install video. This upload can take anywhere from a few minutes to hours depending on your internet connection. It is a 10 gig image, so please keep that in mind. Okay, so with that all sorted, we now move on to manage disk. Now I've got this icon here, disks ready to go, but if it's not there, you can type it up here and click on it. And I'm going to create a new disk. I'm going to attach it to SKY demo and call it SKY demo 2. Make sure it's in Australia. Availability zone, I'm going to go 1. Source type, storage blob. And I now go to browse. And my image is in here. And select. That's ready to go. OS type is Linux. And VM generation is Gen 2. Okay. Now we're going to change the size of the disk as well. And as I mentioned earlier, we're just going to go standard SSD. The image will consume 11 gig of space within Azure. So you'll need to select 16 gig here in order to make sure that disk size is correct. If you do need it to be encrypted, you can move on to there. Networking as per your company's requirements. But for me, I'm just going to go to review and create. Okay, so that deployment is in progress. Once this has completed, then we can start doing our virtual machine itself. Okay, that's done. Go to resource. Okay, so let's click on create VM and give it a name, SKY Suite Demo 2. Availability zone is 1. It's already got the image there ready to go. And okay, disk size. So because this is a lab environment I'm building, I'm just going to do it on a D2S v3. But if it was production, please use the D4S v3 in order for the performance that's required. Click on select. We then look at the impound rules, and as it's lab, I'm going to allow public access for SSH, but this will depend again on your network connectivity and what you require within your environment. And licensing type, I'm just going to go with other and go next for disks. So we need to create and attach a new disk here. This is for the database to be stored on. And I'm just going to leave it as empty disk and change size. It's going to be a lab, so I'm just going to make it 16 gig of standard SSD. Again, depending on what your requirements are within your organization. For production, you want to be using the 512. Encryption type, I'm just going to go with default here and click OK. And from where I need to be, that's all I need to do. I could go through configure networking within my organization, any management requirements advanced, but for me, that's all I need to do. So I'll go to review and create, validation passed, create. So now my virtual machine is building and getting ready to be deployed. So while that happens, I'm going to get my SSH up and ready so that we can make sure that we've got access to it. Okay, so that's all being built. And once this is complete, it'll tell us what the public IP address is. There we go, go to resource. Okay. Now I will give it an extra second. So I've opened up my PowerShell and I'm going to type SSH admin at, and that public IP address that is listed. So 20.40.74.76 in this instance. The password, when it asks me, will be the default, which is Synergy Sky Word 01. There are some capitals in there, so please refer to the documentation for that. Okay, let's get our fingerprints on it. And here we go, Synergy Sky Word 01. And if I've typed that correctly, we should be presented with the SSH menu screen. Fantastic. There we go. Thank you for watching. Enjoy seeing you on the next video.